All right, this is another location of a location shoot of the Final Percent podcast, and today I've got an old connection, but a new connection in Tristan. He owns a company, Diamond Limited Enterprises, and he got hit with one of my ads, and he's actually a social media expert, and so he immediately hit me up and said, I don't know if you remember me, and I've been honest with him, I didn't. But we reconnected at a Starbucks, and now we're talking. He has an upcoming event in January.
Exactly.
Just invited me to speak, so I'm really, really excited about that. It's going to be amazing. But he had his own detailing company, and I mean, a lot of you know my story where I've stayed in the car. I've been homeless. He's stayed in the car. He was just telling me how he has so much respect for people that that do live in cars, and you know, it's just temporary. It's just a season. Everyone's in your life for a season or a reason, right? And so sometimes we got to go through things to become the people that we need to be so that we can do the things that we need to do to have the things that we want. And it's okay to want things, but just become the person who can generate those as a byproduct. Remember, be plus do equals have. So with that being said, I want him to introduce himself, just talk a little bit about it, and then we're just going to kind of spitball, interview each other, and just kind of see what we can, what kind of trouble can we get into? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's we already
With this thing, we could probably get into some
we could probably get arrested pretty quick. You know, pretty quick. I hear you only need to go 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. It can go over 20 miles over any speed limit. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about from when you had your detailing shop.
Yeah.
You decided to exit out of that, and
Exactly.
you sold off the clientele, different things, and now you're helping other businesses, other entrepreneurs. Everyone knows how I feel about influence, but other impactors. He's helping other people make an impact in their life. What? Okay, that's fair. All right, go ahead.
All right, so thanks, guys, for tuning in. Greg Kimball is somebody that, although we don't know each other very well yet, I feel like I've known him for 10 years. So thanks for tuning in. So my name's Tristan Silva, and I'm a native here in Denver, Colorado. I started in the music industry just like this guy, trying to follow in his footsteps. Back in 2014, I got in touch with a group named Top Flight Empire, and ran into some of the right minds that were able to help me develop the right focus and the right destination. And even though I didn't have, not all my friends were the right influence, as I continued to surround myself with better and better people, I started to raise the bar and want a higher quality of life. So we can obviously see how that pays off working with incredible individuals like this. But coming, from living out of a car to, building an automotive detailing company to dominate the industry here in Colorado, to now, kind of talking about and teaching my story and teaching the truth behind how any one of you can start a business or start a personal brand or start something, but it all starts with belief. And I think that's what we're going to be talking about today is the power of belief. And it's so powerful, and I have this quote, and it says that one of the most dangerous things that you can ever do in your entire life is choose to live a life where you only believe in the things you see.
Oh.
What do you think of that?
Well, I always borrow from believing is seeing, not seeing is believing, and I quote that from Santa Claus 2. So I think it's really important. It's really important to understand that you can have belief in so many different things, and if we are going to understand what belief can be in your life, a lot of people wait for belief to show up.
Right.
One of my superpowers that I've said so many times is I can believe in someone else more than they are able to believe in themselves at that moment. So here's why that's important. So if I can believe in someone else, sometimes you've got to get out of your own way. You've got to get out of your own pride. You've got to get out of these things and start understanding that it's okay to borrow someone else's belief in you to start that fire within. Because a lot of people, when I do motivational and inspirational speaking, they say, oh man, you just run around and light a fire under people's butts. No, I light a fire inside of people's hearts.
Right.
I want it to burn brighter than they ever thought possible. And sometimes they have to borrow my belief in them so that they can. It's kind of like the alternator, the starter. It's
Right.
something that can start up inside of them so that they can start believing and start achieving and start understanding what is possible. It starts with seeing, because if you can see what's possible, then you can be what's possible, then you can do what's possible,
Right.
and then you have everything that's possible.
Absolutely.
And so that's why belief is so important. If you have belief, you have everything.
Agreed.
You have everything. And so many people, unfortunately, are going down this hole of they're waiting for certain things to happen. They're
Right.
waiting to see it before they believe it. They're
Right.
waiting for this, that, and the. You are your own lottery ticket. You just got to buy into yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when did you start believing in this new version of you?
Yeah. That's a great question, actually. And I think that I believe that I've always believed in myself. And I think that this is even something that causes a lot of tension, even in households, is when there's members in the household that believe in themselves, and then there's members in the household that might not either believe in themselves or believe in other members of the household.
Oh,
And so I believe that I was raised always believing in myself, and believing in music, and believing in my God-given talents to make music or to do whatever. So I always believed, but the issue was that sometimes and it's not sometimes, it's all the time. For a long time when we're young, we don't have control over we don't have control over a household or what we come from or what we're exposed to or what we believe about the world. So I think that I started believing a long time ago, but I started believing more when I put myself in the environments where other people not only believed in themselves, but they also believed in me as well.
I like what you were saying there, and I think there's this illusion of control. Everyone's waiting for it to be perfect. It's like what my wife and I realized. We're trying to have kids. If you follow my podcast, you know we just went through a miscarriage, and what we finally had to do is we finally were talking one day, and because we're waiting to have kids, 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 waiting to have kids. Well, you know what? There's no perfect time. There's no perfect time to start a business. There's no perfect time to start believing in yourself.
The perfect time is now, right?
The perfect time is action.
Right.
Action equals perfection. If you take action, you will do things perfectly. You just have to learn how to make the decision and then make the decision right.
Right.
So that's the thing. So many people don't understand that you do have to have that belief, but so many people want the illusion of control. The only thing that you actually have control over is your attitude.
Yeah.
The only thing that you have control over is your philosophy. The only thing that you have control over is your actions, and sometimes more importantly, reactions.
Yeah.
You don't want to react to things, you want to respond to things. But changing your mindset, changing your philosophy, and this is something that I've talked with the Final Percent about a lot, is you have to learn how to change your philosophy. And your philosophy is what's going to let you believe in yourself and other people. So if you get around people, like he said, people who believe in themselves and you, not just themselves, because that's not a fun situation to be in. You've got to be around people who believe in you. And then when you have those down days and you're not able to go the final percent, like, because a lot of people, when they're talking to me, they're going, oh man, how do you go full out all the time? Well, I don't. I've got a great team around me. And that's why we seemingly do things at a level that is 100% all the time.
Right.
Because when I fall, someone else picks me up.
Exactly.
When I fall, when I stop believing, someone else believes in me. And I have that borrowed belief so that I can go up. So this whole concept of belief is so important. And it just takes one person to believe in one person, to believe in one person, to believe in one person. We just changed the world.
Right. Exactly, and it's so crazy, and I won't be too specific about certain belief systems or anything, but just think in your mind about something that you believed in, whether you believe that you could get an A on a test, or maybe you believe that you could buy and finance your first car or get approved for your first apartment, or maybe you believed in somebody else when they didn't believe in themselves, and then you saw them accomplish it, and then that feeling that you guys shared after they it was like that moment of silence where it was like they thank you, and they're like, wow, I actually didn't believe in myself, and you believed in me, and thank you,
Yeah,
and then they
exactly
got
right.
it.
Come on.
And that's the most powerful thing. Is the most powerful thing is belief,
Yeah.
believe in yourself,
Yeah.
believe in others, even when they don't believe in themselves, and even if you don't believe necessarily in what they believe in, still support them and show them that you're willing to be open and vulnerable
Yeah.
and susceptible to what they believe.
Mhm.
And I just think that it all starts and ends with belief, because
Yeah.
you can have everything, all the money in the world, all the resources in the world, all the people in the world, but if you don't have belief,
Yeah.
you're either going to burn out,
Yeah.
or you're going to reach the wrong destination. And I think Greg, his belief system is so incredible, and it's also about knowing what to believe in and believing in the right things, and that's why we think that we're in control of a lot of our decisions, and the truth is that we are, but only to a certain extent, because once you put yourself in, we've all heard this quote, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with most, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, figuratively, literally, technically, in every way you can think of. But that means that my influence in my circle, whether I know it or not, they are influencing my decisions and my language.
Right.
If you don't cuss, go spend a week in a circle of people that cuss all the time.
And you'll start.
There you go.
Exactly right.
If you want to drive a super beautiful car like this, don't go hang out with people, who are driving other cars. Go find people like this that have the things you want in life,
Exactly right.
and you will get those things.
So I'll end with this, and I think it ends with belief. It ends with certain things that are possible. It all starts with you have to plan, or you have to prepare to win. So that means you've got to get the books under your belt. You've got to be around the people. You've got to go to the events. You've got to make sure that you have the environment to where you are preparing to win. Then you get all those tools. And then you have to set the plan. You got to set your mile markers, your goals, all these things. And the thing that is really important on that, after you prepare to win, you plan to win. Anybody can do that. That's great. But here's where belief is really important. Most people prepare to win. They go to school, they get doctorates, they get master's degrees, they are technically great, they build businesses, they do whatever. They prepare, and then they plan and they plan and they plan. They forget the last crucial step, and that's expect. Expect to win. You've got to show up and actually expect to win.
Right.
Most people show up and they don't expect to win.
Very true.
And because if you prepare and you plan, they're going to go, oh, something's probably going to go wrong. Well, guess what? The universe is always going to answer yes to you. If you say, oh, man, I'm a piece of crap, the universe is going to go, yes, you are. If you say I'm the greatest salesman alive, the universe is going to say, yes, you are. If you say, hey, I'm probably going to get fired, I'm going to get a demotion, I'm going to get a promotion, I'm going to find that girl, I'm going to do whatever it is you want to accomplish, the universe is going to say yes.
Right.
Because deep down, you expect to either win or lose.
Right.
Choose expect. Start being more committed to your destination, to your goals, to who you want to become. Be more committed to your future, and stop being more committed to your fears. Because if you take no action, by its very definition, you are more committed to your fears, and that means, look at what that means. That means you taking no action means I like where I'm at more. I like my fears more.
Right.
If the answer is no, start taking action. The difference between you taking action and taking no action is simply belief.
I love that. And this is one of the last things that I'll say as well, and I think Greg might agree with me here, is that our minds actually attract what we fear the most. But it's two-sided. So if our minds attract, and we attract the things that we believe in most. So if I believe that, man, I'm just not good enough, and nobody, wants to hire me, and I'm never going to get out of this situation, then whether you want that or not, because it's not about what you want. It's easy to want. Wanting's free. Everybody wants. It's about what sacrifices you're willing to make, and what you believe, and what you think about, and what you focus on. And a lot of people, they don't even know that. They don't understand that, because it doesn't make sense, right? It's, why would I not focus on my current circumstances and how things are, and focus on how things aren't if they're not that way?
Exactly right.
Where do you want to be? What is your destination? And one thing that I always say is ask yourself, where do you see yourself, in what field or what interest or what industry do you still see yourself in 10, 20, 30 years down the road? For me, it's music. For me, it's business. It's probably similar in some other things for him. And so that way, when you start thinking further, you can stop starting things today that you won't do tomorrow.
Yeah,
and you can
exactly.
have better belief. You can have better destination. You can build better relationships, and you can be your best self.
Exactly. Leaders tend to see before others see. That's why the other members of the household aren't always on board. They see before others see and further than others see. So I want you to know, if you believe and other people don't get it, it's completely okay. It's completely fine. That is normal. It's natural. And I just want you to keep going.
Yeah.
Just don't stop believing. I think
Yeah.
at the end of this video, I'm going to just play a little journey clip because you need to not stop believing.
Yeah. And don't spend your time or energy trying to paint the picture for other people that you have based on your belief. Nobody's going to see your end goal. All they're going to see is the little, your little detailing company. Hey man, you still got your little detailing company?
Yeah.
My little detailing company, generated over 6 figures, and I did that with my hands and built it out of a Meguiar's, or out of a JamSport backpack and some Meguiar's wax.
Yeah.
And because of my detailing company, I didn't have to work for another job, forever. And so just believe in what feels right. And if it doesn't feel right, ask yourself more questions. Trust no one. Ask more questions. Find a solid belief system and understand that you are not a god. And that, I think, is it takes it a deeper level.
Yeah.
But I'll expand on it for a second, because although we are very powerful and our minds can manifest things, and we can practically tell time with execution after planning and preparation, is we got to stop putting our hopes in being accepted by other people and by man.
True.
And you are the light and you're a perfect creation, and all your flaws are made by design. And although you are not perfect, you are a perfect creation.
Yeah.
And, just set your pride aside, be willing to learn. One thing that he said on the phone with me, we just jumped on the phone for the first time after like 5 years yesterday, and we're together today. We took action. But he told me, and he said, I'm trying to remember, I might have lost it, but he said, oh man, what did you say? I think it just
Apparently wasn't very good.
No, it was so good. I couldn't even re-say it. But yeah, it'll come back to me. But so many things that I've already learned just from him, and I'm speechless because this is just incredible. This is incredible.
I think, especially based on what he just said, with you're not like, I don't like the whole guru mentality, because I spend a lot more time instead of here's my system, here's my this, here's my that, and selling this, that, and the other. I spend a lot more time in motivation and inspiration. One of the first things that I always tell people is, look, I'm not here to fix you because you are not broken. So I want everyone to believe in the fact that they are not broken. They should believe in themselves, believe in what's possible. Go the final percent every day. Check this guy out, Diamond Limited Enterprises. He's doing some really cool work for nonprofits, for charities, working with kids in Africa. I mean, he's the real deal, and he's got an event coming up in January, and we'll be blasting that on the final percent page and talking about that. So keep an eye out, an ear out, and a mind open. So go the final percent.
Thank you. Yeah.